Hello again, YouTube land. This is a couple days late in posting. I apologize. Yes, I'm wearing a Captain America shirt. I was really quite remarkably busy, as well as not feeling that hot the last couple of days. So, unfortunately, I got sidetracked. But here is the post that on Twitter and Facebook I've recently been talking about. On Sunday, this past, Sam and I went to one of the yearly food truck rallies. I mean, I don't want to call it yearly because they do it spring and summer right into fall. But 2 Sundays a month, unless holidays interfere. There's a place in Park Slope, Brooklyn, where they have food truck rallies where a bunch of different trucks, not the same trucks every time, get together so that you don't have to go hunting them down. So you can sample several different places, or so you can sit around in Prospect Park, which is where this particular rally is located, and, just enjoy things. And I love the concept, and if I really had a more substantive financial status, I really would go more often, because I think food trucks are one of the subsets of culinary arts. Because sometimes the guys and gals who work on the food trucks really know what they're doing. But like many other people, excuse me, they're not geared for working in the standard setting. They'll put in the time, they'll put in the effort, they'll put in the hours, but they're going to do it their way. So they're not going to work in a traditional kitchen where, you start as like a commie and you work up to sous chef and then you work up higher than that to head chef or whatever. Some of them probably have been through that. But it's an opportunity working in a food truck to produce something that's really a lot more personality on a plate, I think. Which high-end chefs can do. But, a truck is mobile. It really does expand the base of people who have the opportunity to experience your version of things. So, this portion that I'm recording now is going to be the bumper intro, which means I'm going to show you this part. Then I'm going to show you all of the clips I recorded that day, which I have to give credit to my husband for. It was his suggestion to record before, after, during video clips instead to use for this, which I had been playing with the idea the last couple that we went to, but I wasn't really interested in following through with it, but he was willing to participate, so this time I did. And then after those clips, which are going to be sequential, getting there, what we ordered from where, how it tasted, etc., are going to be followed up by a closeout bumper. And hopefully you don't mind the jump cuts, because I'm using YouTube software because I don't really have anything more extensive than that. I've been looking for some. And we'll see how it goes this time. Maybe I can polish over the next few and we'll go from there. But here's Sunday's food truck rally. Start out with a panorama at the food truck rally. Starting at Kelvin Slush with a strawberry Arnold Palmer, which I already know I love. Yeah. Alright, so we've decided for the main meal, I'm going to have the brisket rice bowl from Mexique, and the alternative to that at this rally is Mexican Boulevard, from where Sam has gotten his
torta
pastor,
which is spicy pork and pineapple. It's also got tomatoes, lettuce, onion, jalapeno, and avocado, and
As big as your
cheese.
head.
Don't remember what kind of cheese.
Probably coquita. And you got the super spicy sauce, right?
Yes, I asked for extra spicy. They forgot to put it on. They gave it to me on the side.
And
I got a horchata, and they said to stir it.
well, because the rice settles on the bottom. Alright, now to start digging in. Speak.
The torta is very heavily stuffed, so it's very messy and difficult to eat. The sauce is also soaked through the bottom, which makes it necessary to have more napkins. Something so messy to eat is difficult to eat from a truck. The extra spicy sauce is extra spicy. That's it.
But you like that, right?
To a point.
To a point. And to be fair, they do offer forks. They do have forks sitting out. You do have a fork that we grabbed for you. You just haven't elected to use it yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the brisket rice bowl is really good, but it's huge. I mean, but for $9.25 for a bowl this size, that makes a lot of sense. But it's really tasty. The barbecue strips on the top are nice and crunchy, and the brisket is really tender. And it's a lime rice, but it's not overly lime, which is good. And Sam is now holding my dessert. Liège waffle with strawberries, fudge, and whipped cream mountains. He's not sure what to make of it, but I know it's going to be the awesomest thing I eat today. Want to show the pretty surroundings?
Hey? The pretty surrounding?
That's part of it. Diva. We've walked maybe 100 yards. And I'm halfway through my waffle from Waffles and Dingus. They're that good. And Sam has found his natural habitat, the random sidewalk flea market. Too busy hunting for bargains to even notice his wife videotaping him. Damn, we've been spotted. Interesting pairing. Here we observe the bear in his natural habitat. So it's been a few hours and we were out doing stuff and came home, and after we left the food truck rally we got our leftovers packed up at the trucks. FYI, the leftovers from Mexican Boulevard and Mexique do very well if it takes you a couple hours to get home and reheat them, like in the microwave or something. They hold up.
And so there you have it, Sunday's food truck rally. There were quite a few trucks that Sam and I hadn't been to because, you know, again, it's New York City. There's new trucks opening, closing, and shifting every day. Hi, Trouble. So it was a good experience. On the way there, I should mention, as Sam and I left the house and were walking to the bus that we take to get to the major train station, I found a $20 bill on the ground. No note, no indication it belonged to anyone, just seriously sitting next to a fence on the sidewalk halfway down the block. So I took it as a sign that the universe wanted me to enjoy the food truck rally. You know? So that was awesome. And in the end, I ended up spending $1.50 of my own already existing money at the food truck rally. So I enjoyed it a bit more than I probably would have knowing how much of my own money I was spending. Of course, by my own money, I mean Sam's money. Um, that being said, the only addendum beyond that I would add is that we did get home and the leftovers were good. We had been out for several hours at the flea market that I show you and a couple other stops along the way. But when we got home, if we had had the leftovers at, ambient temperature, they would have been fine. They would have been acceptable. They certainly would have still been edible because it was all cooked food. However, Sam and I chose to individually reheat our personal leftovers. Now, my rice bowl was fine. It did have lettuce and sour cream in it, so there was a change in quality and texture. But I know that's my own doing from having put it in a microwave for as briefly as 30 seconds, I admit. But it is going to affect how the leftovers taste. Sam's pastor torta, however, had fresh tomato and lettuce and avocado and I think onion. And those are really things that, in retrospect, you know better than to put in the microwave, but kind of gets forgotten in the interest of finishing your food enjoyably. So that would be the only addendum, info I'll leave you with is be very careful about reheating leftovers from food trucks because certain ingredients, whether you get them from a food truck or leftovers from a restaurant or leftovers from something you've made, certain ingredients can't really be reheated, So just bear that in mind. It was a fun day. I mean, I really do like food truck rallies, and I do look forward to going to more of them again. Here's the thing: is that the only thing I kind of wish about the food truck rallies is that it would coincide with a time when my parents chose to visit. If not necessarily both my parents, since my mom has a self-restricted menu for whatever personal and health reasons. My dad, much like my husband, will basically eat whatever you put in front of him. So he's the kind of guy that if we, the three of us, my dad, my husband, and I, all went to a food truck rally together, it would be one of those epic mealtime eats kind of a thing, It would be one of the very few subjects that all members of my family can completely get together on and totally enjoy. And it would be cost effective too, because then we could legitimately go to 3 or 4 or 5 different trucks, and between the three of us, the price spent for the size involved of quantity, it would completely make sense because it would break down to something like $2, $3, $4 per person per thing from a truck, not counting like drinks or something. So that's my only thing, is that I kind of wish one of the times we went to a food truck rally, it happened to be while my parents, or at least my dad, was visiting. So it is what it is. But there's the outro, and the next thing I post will be on a completely different food subject, but it's taken me forever to post this, and I apologize, and I know it's long, but hopefully it's worth it. And hopefully you get a chance to enjoy New York City food trucks if you haven't, or go to new ones if you have, because there's really so many good ones out there. So, that's it for now.